This is the trade routes. Okay, this is the materials that they have traded. Okay, see, look at this, and this is our Great Bath. See, this is the aerial view of it. See, this is the water pool around which you have galleries or rooms. After the excavation, it looks like that. Fortifications, assembly hall, granary, parallelly they exist, granary and Great Bath. Okay, just that there's no place, they put it there. Okay, Great Baths here. Now, coming to trade. Okay, when we talk about the Indus Valley Civilization's trade, okay, so we know two things. That is, one is internal trade and external trade. What is internal trade? Mostly the sea routes took to your external trade. Okay, sea routes were used mainly, okay, for the external trade, but it was not actually, just limited to external trade alone. Okay, and internal trade mainly took through roadways and also through some of the routes, okay, waterways only, inland waterways we can say. Okay, one thing that we have to learn about Harappans, okay, one thing that we have to learn about Harappans lifestyle is that their inland water usage, okay, our inland waterways are not well developed. Yes or no? Do we use waterways very, have we tapped even? We haven't even touched them, right or not? So if you go to some of the foreign countries, their inland waterways are very active. Yes? So to travel between different states, they take waterways, right? But here we do not have that inland waterway development, right? So one thing that we have to understand from here is we can develop inland waterways, which is a possibility which needs a lot of time and effort to, make it a reality. Got it? So we had both internal and external trade very actively running in Indus Valley period. But now when they say urban economy here, Harappan civilization or Indus Valley civilization is an urban economy means what? It means that having a vibrant internal and external trade in itself was a urban economy at that point of time. All right? And then how do your urban economy survive? You have feeder routes, right or not? Feeder routes from where? Rural side, okay, your semi-urban or rural side, and the feeder routes keep providing for the urban side. Now you have your Grofers. Yes, Grofers is an app in which you order vegetables and everything, right or not? So where do these people procure it from? Do we have an agricultural land to supply for the entire Bangalore? No, we go for outskirts, semi-urban, and then to rural areas. So we fetch it from there and then we supply it here, right or not? So it is very much like that. Got it? So here, when you say urban economy, the trade in itself is a feature of a urban economy here at this point of time. Okay, and what necessitated this, economical structure is your rural-urban interrelationship. Okay, so wherever the goods were produced, what kind of goods that we are talking about here? We're talking about those crafts, potteries, those beads, and those metal objects. Okay, so those kind of things is what we're talking, and also the agricultural produce. Okay, so all of them. Now the rural area is producing and urban area is trying to collect and store them. Okay, now that interrelationship, what had existed between the rural and urban setup. So now when I say rural and urban here, it means the areas that are growing or providing and the areas that are receiving. That is it. Okay, because what kind of structures existed? Uniform structures existed at all places, right or not? So now if you have to distinguish between urban and rural, you have a clear-cut distinction from the way the buildings are, existing. Infrastructure wise, there's a huge difference. Okay, and also services wise. Okay, we have like so many services. You need to go for one eat out, you have 1,000 options. But in the rural economy, you have only 10 options. That is how you distinguish. But here, you don't have much of that sharp distinction here. It is only a provider and a receiver. Got it? Yes. Then urban craftsmen needed the markets. Okay, now certain, again here, when you talk about crafts, okay, crafts is a very specialized activity of these people. Okay, if you remember that, yes or no, we saw an ivory carving, a mother goddess carving. They're all like, exemplary artwork of IVC people, okay, which have survived for so many years, so many thousands of years, right or not? So likewise, in the areas where such great craftsmanship existed, they wanted to sell those crafts to the rural towns. See, generally it is always, the structure is like this, where the, the much, technical things exist in the urban areas, and some of the, technical things do exist in the rural areas also. Like some, very few. If you take this geographical indicators, which you give for these craft works, give me an example. Pashmina shawl. Chanpatna toys. Ilkal Sire, yes. Our silk, yeah, Mysore silk. Then Bidri ware, if you have heard of, okay, in North Karnataka, that is one great craft works. Okay, a lot of craft works like this. Okay, they come from particular region, so they are like rural specialities. Okay, but generally, tumba technical or very much intelligence based craft works and all would happen in the urban places only. Okay, so these urban craftsmen needed the markets and hence necessitated the activity of trading. Okay, so one reason the trade existed is give and take relationship. Okay, you need supply and demand flow, one thing, and second thing is there is a need for markets. Okay, so the basic idea of a trade is markets. Okay, where there is market, there is going to be trade activity, and then it led to the contact between two towns and also with the foreign lands like Mesopotamia. When you take Mesopotamia, I want you guys to remember Magan, Dilmun, and Meluha. Okay, this is Mesopotamia, and take Meluha. Meluha is your Western Indus Valley Civilization. Okay. Whenever you write about external trade, please make sure that you write these two names. Magan is your present day Oman. That Persian Gulf countries there. Okay, Magan is Oman. Dilmun is your Bahrain, a little left, Bahrain region. And Meluha, you have you heard this book, Meluha? Shiva trilogy, Bukali, this fellow, what's his name? Amish Tripathi, right? He writes a lot about Meluha. Okay, that's the land where, Shiva originated is what he believes in. And then he gives a lot of information on it. Okay, so Meluha is basically our northwestern India. I mean, northwest Indus Valley, the western part. Okay, yes. This is the trade routes. Okay, this is the materials that they have traded. Okay, see, look at this. See, this is our Oman. Here only you see Magan. And then this is your Dilmun. And here you will see your Meluha. This part is called as Meluha. Northwest, I mean your western part of your IVC. What and all we traded? Tin, copper, gold, lapis lazuli, sodalite, shell, steatite, shirt, agate, banded agate, jasper, agate. See, these are all valuable or precious stones. Okay, so don't break your heads into getting into the details of these. Just remember these names. Okay, yes. Look, that is our lapis lazuli, very beautiful looking stone. Okay, na? So what and all was traded from which place is given here. I want you all to remember at least few of them. Aita? Yes. See, this looks little more like, memory based. Yes, it is. But other certain areas will have to be memorized to write it in the answers. Okay. Yes. So metals and precious stones were traded. And then silver from Mesopotamia. Then lapis lazuli from Badakhshan Mains in Afghanistan. Then turquoise and jade from Central Asia. Western India provided agate, chalcedony and carnelian. See, this is internal. This is our internal trade. Seashells from Gujarat and neighboring coastal areas. And timber and other forest produces from northern regions such as Jammu. Jammu has provided timber. External trade, I told you this before. Okay? Your Dilmun, Magan and Meluha. Places. Gold, obviously, Rajasthan, K3 mines, one thing. And sorry, copper. And yeah, South India. South India is where we took gold from. And also some of the places in Central Asia also provided gold. Look, this is our trade routes. See, Meluha is here. Okay, leave question marks there, I couldn't remove it, just bear with that. This is our Meluhan region. Why it is in question mark is we do not exactly have any corroborating historical evidences. Hence, we have just kept it like that, okay? See, our Dilmun and Magan, Sumerian civilization, yes. Then Elam, they are not important, just at least it is to NAPCA, okay? Meluha, Magan, Dilmun. Okay, see the interior version of it is here. Like, you know, a little more, not little more, a little zoomed in version of it is this. Okay, yes. Why I give this much details is you should know to plot them in the map. If there is a necessity to draw the map, you should know to plot them in the map. Got it? Yes.